everybody, I'm Chris. Thanks for watching. The Week 13 ranks are going to be the subject of today's show, and as such, my initial Week 13 ranks will be scrolling on the left side of your screen throughout the show today. Of course, you should check in at harrisfootball.com. I will update ranks as warranted. And harrisfootball.com, you can also find my podcast. I do a podcast 5 days a week. It's not the same as the YouTube show. It's something different. I don't know if people who are discovering me via YouTube know this, but yeah, I have a pretty popular podcast you can also find at harrisfootball.com. Okay, so as part of the Week 13 ranks, I thought we would break down some film on a couple of guys who were interesting to rank for this week. I've got Austin Ekeler, and I've got DJ Moore. We will start with Ekeler. Now, you know the reason we're considering Ekeler as a start Sunday night against the Steelers is because Melvin Gordon hurt his knee. I talked about the other running back in the Charger backfield, Justin Jackson, on Monday's YouTube show. You can go back and check out that one for a quick look at his film. Ekeler's a nice story. Second-year player out of Western State. There was a moment in September when people tried to tell me Melvin Gordon is bad and actually Austin Ekeler should get more carries. That now looks kind of dumb because Gordon's one of the best backs in the league, but Ekeler has made the most of limited opportunities. He's 5'11", 200 pounds, not tiny, but not big, and probably not an every down running back on a long-term basis. By today's NFL standards, the Chargers aren't inordinately three wide out heavy, but I don't think that's probably because normally they have Melvin Gordon and they like to play him with a fullback. My initial assumption would be this is more likely to be what we get schematically from the Chargers when Ekeler is their dude. Spread, send Ekeler into a pattern, make him a receiver. Hey, I'd like to thank our sponsor for this week. They are the makers of my new electric toothbrush. This is my Quip. I use it twice a day. Quip is fantastic. This is all there is. There's no charger. It really is the Tesla of toothbrushes. I've seen them advertise all over the place. They're getting unbelievably popular, and if you're thinking about a stocking stuffer, very reasonably priced. You could check in on Quip, and in fact, if you click on the link that's below me, getquip.com/HarrisVideo, well, it gives us a little bit of credit because it lets Quip know where you found out about them. Also, it gets you a free recharge. So they will send you your first replacement head for free, and it has the charger right in it. It's a really great idea. It is the Tesla of toothbrushes, and we really thank Quip for sponsoring today. Okay, back at it with Austin Ekeler, and I talked about him as a receiver. That's obviously and clearly the best thing that he does. This is a touchdown against the 49ers. We can see him here with 5 receivers on the field. He's the one furthest to the right of the offensive formation, and Rivers sees he has Ekeler isolated on rookie linebacker Fred Warner, and that's enough for Rivers. A little hitch and go. I don't think you'd say this is an amazing route, but it's a great throw, and Ekeler has, no question, receiver-like ball skills. This is what we want Sunday night. We want the Chargers drawing up plays to get Ekeler in mismatches and doing what he does best, catch the ball. Now, as a runner, Ekeler has been used mostly as a change-up player, more often than not out of spread formations, 11 personnel grouping, no fullback, 3 wideouts, 1 tight end. Misdirection, spread the defense, inside handoff, try and get him into space. Ekeler's not a weakling, and he's a dangerous playmaker if he gets up ahead of steam. This is a more traditional run formation. We've got 2 tight ends and a fullback, and we're going to run it to the strong side. This is a Melvin Gordon play, and on this one it works. Heck yeah. Ekeler is sharp getting to the hole. He looks tiny, but he throws his body in there looking like Phillip Lindsay, Tariq Cohen, dare I say looking like Christian McCaffrey. Way to stay up in the open field. If it could be like this every play, the Chargers wouldn't need Melvin Gordon now, would they? Of course, when Ekeler has gotten meaningful carries in 2 tight end formations most of the year, it's been like this. You recognize a similar setup, no fullback, but it has the look of a weak side power run, but instead, Ekeler is the one who gets, not Gordon, right? It's Ekeler gets the jet sweep. He's fast. He's probably not your ideal power running player, but he's fast. The fact is, when the score has been within 10 points either way so far this year, Ekeler has 6 carries with 2 tight ends on the field. Melvin Gordon has 55. And that's when Gordon hasn't been hurt. There's a reason. Listen, obviously, any running back can find no room and get stopped for no gain, as happened here. And I can clearly show you lots of Gordon runs that go for no gain. This is Ekeler again. Plus 6 carries from some obvious run formations. That's the definition of a small sample size. And just last week, after Gordon's injury, the Chargers got a goal line chance. They didn't hesitate. Ekeler was on the field, pound it right up in there. He's not running guys over. He's got some leg drive, and he scores this touchdown. So now the player Ekeler's size, or actually a little bit smaller than Austin Ekeler, who's had the most success this year, running out of 11 personnel, 3 wide in other words, Phillip Lindsay. And it just so happened he had great success running from spread formations last week, which is where this play is from, against, ta-da, the Chargers' opponent this week, the Steelers. And Lindsay had a lot of success winding his way through the Steeler defense when there were more defensive backs and linebackers who had to play coverage. In this game, Lindsay had 6 carries for 63 yards out of 11 personnel, none of those carries longer than 18. So I assume the Chargers' approach against the Steelers Sunday night will be similar to the Broncos' approach with Phillip Lindsay the week before. They're going to try to get him in space, run out of pass formations, and I'm comfortable with that. Honestly, I think Austin Ekeler can do a fairly good Phillip Lindsay impersonation. As such, I have him number 17 among standard league running backs and number 12 among PPR because he really is a much better receiver than anything else. I think we're using him. I think you've got a fairly safe floor, 60 scrimmage yards, something like that, and I think there's the potential for quite a bit more. And Justin Jackson, I think he was an okay waiver add. I particularly wouldn't start him this week. I think of him as more like in the 40s among running backs until we see him in further action if Gordon's going to miss multiple games. All right, let's take a look at DJ Moore after his statistical breakout last week. A look at the top line stats makes it obvious why DJ Moore is becoming a fantasy darling. A little birdie told me that a friend of mine in the business has him ranked 16th among receivers this week, which is higher than I have him. I have Moore 26th in standard, 22nd in PPR. Certainly a lot higher than we had him 2 weeks ago, for sure. But we should try to not be so tethered to the box score because stats can arrive in all sorts of ways. We'll start with his first target Sunday against the Seahawks. As is common with Moore, he's in the slot here, and he's in the slot an awful lot. This is a fairly typical Seattle defense, single safety high, and what offenses have learned against that particular defense, which is so common in the NFL now, is that the deep over route works. If you can protect, and the Seahawks only rush 4 here, running the deep route across the field as the deep safety protects against 2 receivers on the defensive left side there, you get more running past a linebacker. That linebacker's Bobby Wagner, but it's still an impossible cover for him, and it winds up being a long gain. However, lest you think the rookie's being used like this a lot, I think what you're seeing here is way more typical for how Carolina is using pretty much all their wideouts not named Torrey Smith. So I counted 10 routes on Sunday when DJ Moore lined up on the outside and didn't do jet action or something different than just running a route. 10 routes where he just ran a route on the outside, and he was targeted on 3 of them. There are a lot more routes out of the slot, out of the backfield, doing funky stuff. Here is the best one on the outside. He's split offensive left side. He's the split end there. And against that Seattle defense with all those receivers on the other side of the formation, Cam Newton knows that he has more purely one-on-one, and he trusts him. Beat the defender on your own, and he does. And we will certainly take this sort of play. And this is also a more traditional wideout usage. This is the last offensive play the Panthers ran, looking for a first down on a 3rd and long tie game late. I love that they want to run more across the formation. They trust him. He's fast. He can get the first down, put the ball in his hands. He doesn't get it. But I love that they wind up missing the field goal. I love that they tried this play, sure. If I have a quibble with Moore's current role, it's this. Which one is he? Can you tell? I mean, this is a faraway view for sure, but my point is, it's a bunch of interchangeable pieces, especially when there's no Devin Funchess, which sounds like there might not be again this week against Tampa. In fact, Moore does catch this one. It's a little check down. And again, I like that Carolina wants the ball in his hands to dig beneath the numbers. I'm finding that, if the usage is like this, I don't know, it's like Julian Edelman. He's slot left here, and yeah, just walk over there, DJ. And if Cam feels like it, he'll flip it to you 3 yards down the field. We're not turning up our noses at the Julian Edelman role. We're not turning up our noses at catches. But also, let's admit, as with Edelman, not all catches are equally likely to lead to big yards or touchdowns. I mean, look at this spectacular play by DJ Moore. Awesome, dude. Little jab step, fake out the defender, go to the post. Oops, except I'm just kidding. This is Curtis Samuel. It's not DJ Moore at all. And here's this really clever cross to DJ Moore. Catching it, going toward the sideline. Except, whoops, this is Jarius Wright. It's not DJ Moore at all. Used in really similar ways to Moore, Curtis Samuel and Jarius Wright also shining. Listen, I'm being stupid. I think Moore is a better version of those other guys. Against the Lions the week prior, here he is split wide. Tight game, third quarter, no safety helps coming his way, and Newton gives him a chance. Essentially a 50-50 ball. He's not a big guy, but he's not small. He's pretty strong. He's really fast. Then this winds up a missed tackle, goes for, 82 yards. Only Darius Slay, being even faster, prevents a 94-yard touchdown. Just realize when you look at 157 yards from week 11, 82 of them came on this play. None of which is to try and throw too much shade on DJ Moore. I think the Panthers are sort of just playing positionless football on offense right now, treating 4 of their little guys as interchangeable parts. And as such, I think among the 3 receivers I just talked about, Moore is the best one. But as such, on a game-to-game basis, this kind of usage historically doesn't tend to lead to consistent fantasy production the way those top-line numbers would say. I totally like DJ Moore this week. I like him. I just don't like him top 15. Like I said, 26 standard, 22 PPR. I'm cool using him. I don't think he's locked in with this kind of usage as a pure number 2 fantasy wide receiver. But as a dude who's at the head of the class of those many 40 wide receiver 3s, absolutely, I'm going to pick DJ Moore ahead of most of those wide receiver 3s. I think you can use him, and it's a good matchup this week against Tampa. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.